Ahead on the MTN 4:30 news, engulfed in flames.
That's the scary part is just kind of like seeing that and seeing the aftermath of it.
A West End fire destroys the home of 2 Billings residents who lost nearly everything, plus rain bringing hope. The Elk Fire finally stops growing after precipitation helps contain the blaze, and some much-needed care.
State-of-the-art equipment with care close to home.
Eastern Montana cancer patients receive some closer care after a new center opens up in Miles City. The MTN 4:30 news on Q2 starts right now. Good evening and thank you for joining us this Friday. I'm Charlie Klepps. 2 Billings residents lost everything this morning in a complete loss fire on their property. The flames completely engulfed nearly everything they own, including their home and vehicles. Our Mac Carmack checked in today to see what steps they can take moving forward.
Yellowstone County authorities are investigating a house fire that happened about 1:30 a.m. on Friday. The cause of that fire remains unknown. However, testimonies from witnesses believe that the cause of the fire was by a single cigarette.
There's fire everywhere, so I wouldn't doubt that they made it out of sheer luck.
Looking at what used to be 2 RVs, several vehicles, and a double-wide trailer home, there truly are no words for this property west of Billings.
I was terrified. I didn't know who was living or who was dying because I didn't know who was in the hospital, so I bolted to the hospital hard as I could.
That's Eric Beisch. His brother Caleb and friend Christina were staying at the house at the time of the fire.
Yeah, we've been helping them out. I literally been up since like 3 this morning.
According to Beisch, the fire started around 1:30 in the morning. He says that Christina believes someone was smoking a cigarette in one of the RVs on the property and possibly fell asleep. Shortly after, a nearby propane tank exploded. That explosion set off a chain reaction, leaving the entire property in flames.
Recommend that you don't smoke in a bedroom situation type, sleeping quarters or a couch or anything.
Laurel Fire Chief J.W. Hopper says that the cause of the blaze is still under investigation. 5 different companies responded to the fire with a total of 27 firefighters on scene overnight. All of the people on the property safely made it out, though 3 were sent to the hospital for treatment. 10 total pets were lost, including 4 dogs and 6 cats.
He passed away in there. There's like 2 other ones that passed away in this RV over here. It was really bad.
For now, Beisch is letting Christina and Caleb stay with him, while also warning people to be careful around any kind of spark.
Just be careful. A single light can do any kind of damage.
In Yellowstone County, Matt Carmack, MTN News.
Lots of progress was made in the battle with the Elk Fire yesterday, thanks in large part to some help from Mother Nature. Precipitation fell in much of the region, with even some snowfall in other parts of Wyoming. That rain very helpful for the crews still working to contain the blaze. Evacuations are starting to be lifted in certain areas, and crews battling the flames weren't out last night for the first time since the fire began. The fire has raged on for multiple weeks, devastating thousands of acres, and while the fight will continue, it finally appears to be slowing down. Now let's see if this cold snap will stick around. For a first look at the forecast, here's Jason Stiff.
It definitely was nice to get the rain, the mountain snow too, and we still have a lingering winter weather advisory for the Wyoming part of the Bighorns. So almost all the snow is done. We still have more clouds over much of northern Wyoming and far southeastern Montana, but there is some clearing and then another disturbance moving Montana's direction. So overnight tonight for our area, we're going to have a chillier night with fewer clouds, bright and breezy on Saturday, warmer weather on Sunday, but other changes are coming. Our 7-day forecast in just a few minutes.
While it might not stay cold this weekend, we all know winter is coming and bringing some colder months with it. That, of course, means we aren't just bracing for the cold weather, but also the cold and flu season. State health officials are urging folks to stay up to date on immunizations and stay home when you are sick, seek treatment, and practice good hygiene. Last year, Montana saw nearly 20,000 people with seasonal illness. The easiest preventative measure you can take this winter is washing your hands often. And some big medical advancements made in eastern Montana this week in the way of a brand new cancer center opening in Miles City. The grand opening was yesterday, and our David J. was there to tell us how impactful it will be for eastern Montanans battling this disease.
They celebrated the opening of the Helmsley Cancer Center in Miles City. That means patients will no longer have to travel all the way to Billings, and that's going to mean a lot for the patients as far as financially, as far as support, and the treatments they can get here in Miles City.
Ultimately, I chose what was best for my family, and I chose to drive back and forth 280 miles daily and 7,000 miles total.
Jamie Beardsley finished 25 rounds of radiation treatment last December for breast cancer. She was driving Monday through Friday from Miles City to Billings and back to take care of her children.
I did pretty well with radiation. I wasn't tired until the last few treatments. It did wear me out a little bit, but it was just a mindset. Had to do it, so I did it.
Dee Abbott also traveled to Billings for treatments and helped with the groundbreaking last year, but she had a reoccurrence and passed away in September.
Dee shared about her journey and how excited she was to see us expand cancer care in Montana.
Katie Donnelly is director of the Cancer Center and says now patients such as Ashley and Dee can get treatments and enjoy staying home with their families.
I could not have envisioned having something like this facility in Miles City several years ago, and now it's a reality, and it's pretty awesome.
The 12,000 square foot center cost $17 million, and the Helmsley Charitable Trust contributed $6 million.
Whether you choose to live in a big city or a small little community like Miles City, everybody deserves latest and state-of-the-art equipment for medical.
Walter Panzer is the grandson of the woman who started the trust, and he says this facility is as good as any in the big cities.
We love our big windows. I think it is really important for the patient in their healing because it brightens up the place. It brings a lot of natural light, positivity.
Oh, I really love building the connections with the patients. It's very cool. It's rewarding to be a part of the process.
May it truly be a place of healing and hope to all people.
In Miles City, David J., MTN News.
We continue to close in on Election Day, now less than 3 weeks away. And in Butte, there's been some controversy added to the sheriff's race. The race between Mike Gage and Ed Lester is expected to be closely contested. And now there's additional drama as a campaign finance violation is being looked at by the state. The claims made by Lester accuses Gage of improper radio and social media advertisements. According to the ruling, Gage didn't report nearly $9,000 in radio ads running for office. Gage is claiming it was simple oversight, but Lester says it was after the 5th report he made the claim, stating that he doesn't believe it's on accident. And on the national scale, it's all eyes on the presidency, which continues to look like it'll come down to the wire. We continue to follow the campaign trail, keeping with our Truth Be Told segment. On tonight's, we look into statements made by President Donald Trump regarding an enemy from within and what they actually mean.
Harris in a contentious Fox News interview calling out Trump's recent focus on an enemy within.
An enemy within, talking about the American people, suggesting he would turn the American military on the American people.
At a Colorado rally, Trump brought up the military when speaking about what he says is a danger inside the country.
It's the enemy from within, all the scum that we have to deal with that hate our country.
The Trump campaign tells us he's referring to those who seek to undermine democracy by sowing chaos in elections. But at a Fox News town hall, Trump took a broader view of the enemy from within to include Democrats who oppose him.
You know what they are? They're a party of sound bites. It is the enemy from within, and they're very dangerous.
He named the Pelosi's and Congressman Adam Schiff, a Democrat and key leader in the first Trump impeachment, who's now running for U.S. Senate in California. Days before, Trump said radical left lunatics are a bigger threat to peace on Election Day than foreign terrorists and may require military response.
The people from within, we have some very bad people, we have some sick people, radical left lunatics, and it should be very easily handled by, if necessary, by National Guard, or if really necessary, by the military.
Harris's claim that Trump suggested using military force against Americans is totally true. On multiple occasions, he has said the military may have to respond to the enemy within, a description he says includes multiple Democratic lawmakers as well as, quote, radical left lunatics.
Still to come on the MTN 4:30 News, Ranch Rodeo. We'll take a look at the grand finale of the Nile, which is a little different than some of the typical events over the past week. Plus, Jason will be in with your full weekend forecast. Stay with us. We'll be right back.